Part 2, Electric Boogaloo, baby. We're back with another animated story, and I hope everyone can enjoy today. Let's get right into it. Let me just set up in this awesome recording studio I got going here. That does not exist. But anyways, it's time for a new animated story. Alright, this takes place at my old middle school, where it was also hot garbage, but not as bad as my high school. Middle school stats, I was like 5 foot something, quote unquote tech savvy, because I knew how to use a computer just a tiny bit better than others. Still dumb, and I was actually slightly less broke, because things weren't as expensive, or at least the things I wanted wasn't expensive. Anyways, let me continue. So, it was about me, a friend, another friend, and basically, just the four of us doing something. We're gonna give them random names right now. Alright, so me, Alex, Tyler, and Josh. This is basically the story about how our grades went from we're dumb as hell to we aren't dumb as hell. We thought maybe we were smart, maybe we were craftier, maybe it was just an accident in someone's part of grading us. We just got lucky, and you'll see how. Normal day in English class, and we always sit in the back. I always sat next to Tyler, Tyler sat next to Josh, and Alex sat next to me. So Tyler and I always talked for the most part. We were the better of friends, but we always got along well with Alex and Josh here and there. So teacher's talking and telling us, hey, we gotta go. And before we left, she forgot to give us our report cards. So, coming in the next day, you're like, I'm sorry, class, I forgot to give out report cards. Here, let me tell you when it's gonna happen. It's gonna happen next week. I had to do some more grading, but I'm gonna get back your test. So, Tyler turns to me and he's like, yo, I think I bombed this test. And, we're all like, yeah, we bombed. I'm like, wow, yo, me too. That's crazy. That's totally crazy. So, yeah. That went on. Teacher went around giving out tests in alphabetical order, and I was typically last because of my name. And she's like, "Hey, I noticed you did bad on the test. You gotta try more." I'm like, cool. I'm like, just stay here. I'm gonna get your test. I had to separately grade it. It always made me feel dumb, but after a while, I left. On my way home, I was looking at my test and I noticed something. Something was written down here, username and password. I'm like, that's crazy. So I take a closer look, and she left her username and password on my exam for her account to grade us. I was happy as hell. I logged in on my phone, and I'm like, no, there's no way it's gonna work. It totally worked. I was in. I'm in the homeroom next day, and it's the week of report cards, so Tyler's like, yo, my mom's probably gonna yell at me, maybe beat me if I do bad, and you got Josh here agreeing. Alex is dead silent because we're all just like in agreement, and I just come out here, I'm like, hey guys, chill, we're gonna pass. I explained to them what happened, and they all started getting happy as hell. They're like, yo, what? No way. And I was smiling up, I'm like, yo, that shit really happened. So we left, and our grades went from we're dumb to we ain't dumb. About a week later, report cards finally came out after a delay. So I was like, I'm glad I see a lot of you did well, and I'm gonna give back now. So we were all happy. He's like, yo, imagine, actually our things got printed. I'm like, yeah, it's gonna work. It's gonna work. Look. She's like, yep, I'm gonna hand it out now. She went around the class one by one, handing out report cards, slowly working our way over. Gave it up, she's like, hey, I see you made improvement in my class. I honestly thought you weren't doing so well, but I guess you were. I'm so sorry. She gave me an apology, because I was always bad at English. I don't know why. She went back up, started teaching again, and we were like, oh my god, yo, look at my grade, Yo, I got the 95 I wrote. Yo, I got my 90, and I'm here like, yo, I got my 100. But yeah, that's totally not sus. Our parents had no clue, but that would all come to an end a week later. So we come and we're talking. It's the end of the day, and we're like, hey, you guys want to meet up at the park later? It's like, yeah, sure, why not? Then, out of the corner of her eye, I noticed my English teacher walks in. I didn't really think much about it. She comes over, kind of like signals me out. I was like, God, I got that upset face, but I'm just talking to Josh, like trying to brush it off. I'm like, yeah, you going to the park later? We're gonna play some basketball or something, right? He's like, hey, Xavier, how you doing? I'm like, I'm good, miss. I'm good. Josh is like, I'm good too here, miss. I just see that disappointing face, and I just go, everything okay? Yeah, just come with me, okay? So I grab my stuff, and I get ready to go. We head out into the hall, everyone's getting dismissed. Josh, Alex, Eddie walking away. I'm just like, what's wrong, miss? And he's like, so, I heard, you logged into my account for grades? I'm just like, I'm sitting there with the straightest face. I'm like, that's crazy. And he's like, you gotta come down with me to my class, alright? We gotta look at this. And I was like, I gave her that, like, whole straight face, but, like, disappointing look of, like, kind of angst, maybe to, like, throw her off, maybe to get rid of me. I'm like, oh, whatever. So we left, and we were for class. I was like, yeah, stay right here. Stay right here. And, I didn't. I followed her instead, because, she was like, come with me. And I was like, well, what's going on here? He's like, look at my computer. See how it says 100? I'm just looking at it. And it's like, oh, wow, look at that. I passed with 100. It's almost like I did well in your class. I did your work. And she goes, yeah, it's strange. Phone call from my mom, and she's like, hey, where are you at? And I'm explaining the situation, minus the fact that I changed grades. I would tell her that later. So I'm like, hey, miss, I gotta go. I was like, no, you gotta stay here. We gotta resolve this. I know you did it. There's no way. I've never had a kid in my class pass with 100. I'm like, huh, that's crazy. It's almost like you just don't like the kids. And, maybe you don't like me. So she's giving me that frowning disappointment look, like, I would never do that. She probably failed kids on the daily. Like, she was a good person, but she probably failed kids on the daily. She was too strict. So I ended up leaving. She's like, I'm gonna see you. I'm gonna see you later. You can't get away from this. You're in trouble. So I left, and I'm assuming she left, and that was pretty much it. I had to explain what was happening to my mom, just because, I needed basically someone to back me up at this point. But she wasn't about to let me go down, because that's what family's for. Alright? I was guilty, but I'd be punished later. And that punishment would be terrible. So I head into the principal's office and like, you the kid that, changed grades? I'm like, supposedly, yeah. Get right here! She just yelled at me and was like, I'm gonna be right back with a counselor. I was like, alright. So I'm sitting there, I'm going through like the 5 stages of grief every day. This is day 1, day 2, I'm getting angry, day 3, I'm bargaining, day 4, I'm crying, day 5, I'm accepting. I'm like, you know what? It's not gonna be bad. And I had to wait 5 days doing the same nonsense in her office until they finally sent in a counselor, because he's out, and he comes in, he just looks at me, no words. And I'm just like, hi? Boom, gone. Comes back, and he's about to say something. The principal comes in, it's like, you're suspended! And they recalled a bunch of report cards, but they couldn't tell who had their grades changed. So everyone passed with 100, because they couldn't prove it failed. Even I still passed with 100. But they knew I changed the grades. They just couldn't prove I failed. So everyone passed thanks to me. But I was suspended for a couple of days. And I still managed to not get this on my record by striking a deal with another dean. Because he's like, hey, be my monitor. Come end of the year, remind me of this. And I'll strike this off the record. He did. I watched it. So I got off scot-free. And I actually learned a lot. How easy it is to mess up stuff and how dumb the grading is. But I also learned how to do a few coding lines down the line, so I was happy about that. And that's it. That was the story. I got away with it, and I got a good grade still, even though I ended up getting suspended for 2 days. But that's gonna have to do it for this video. I hope you liked. And I still have way more crazy stories to go. I'm just building it up, I'll see you guys next time. Until the next one, I love you all. Goodbye. Hey, thanks for watching. I hope you all enjoyed that animated story. Bit of a wild one to build up for the next one, I promise. And I'm going to add some more detail to it, since I got more free time. So I'll see you all next time in the next animation video. I hope you're enjoying these. See ya.